Here's how you make a dangle. First you put the beads on, just like that, one at a time. Now you have the beads the way you want them. You're going to choose a spot just a little bit above where the beads stop. And that's where you're going to make a bend of about 45 degrees. Like that. Then you take your round pliers, you hold it just like this. Now you're ready to make a loop like this. Okay? When you get to this point, you have to kind of move the pliers out of the way so you can go a little further. Let's see if you can see that. See what we've done there? Okay, now we're ready to finish it. So you're going to take the round pliers, hold onto the loop, and to hold this extra tight, you can use your other pliers, your flat pliers, to pull the wire tightly around. Look what I just did there. And what you want is for the end to come out into place where it's easy to cut it. And so you kind of pull it away from the beads. You don't want to cut your beads or smash them. You get your cutters and get really, really close to the wire without cutting a bead. And then you hold on to the end to keep it from jumping away from you. Okay, that's really important. You don't want to step on these little pieces of wire in your floor because it hurts your foot. Now you'll see that there is a little tiny bitty end. Okay, you can either file that off with a nail file, or what I do is I hold it with the round pliers, try to keep it out of the way so you have a little bit of room. Now I'm going to get the flat pliers and I'm gently going to smooth it out. Do this really gently because see, that bead is right there. I don't want to smash it. You can also hold it at this angle. That makes the beads go down better. I'm just very, very, very gently smash down that little end. And you would be amazed at how much more comfortable to where your jewelry is going to be if you don't have that little end. Now you can just feel it with your finger. And whenever you feel like it's not sharp anymore because you've mashed it down or filed it, then you have something ready to go. Now, sometimes the loop needs to be straightened just a little bit, so you can just gently move it in the way it needs to go. To open and close a jump ring. A jump ring is one of these little wire rings that looks like a circle. This one is what you call an open jump ring because it has an opening in it. A soldered jump ring or closed jump ring does not have a little cut in it. Okay, so first we kind of center our jump ring in between these two pliers, okay? And to open it, we're going to push them away from each other. See how I did that? So, okay, so what we don't do, I should get a different one to show you what not to do. Don't do this. So we don't pull the pliers out and away from each other, right? Like, look at what I did there. See, it's kind of like too big now. Whereas this one, I did it the right way. Hopefully you can see that they're kind of still lined up. I just twisted them away from each other. Now, to close it, I just line them up again next to each other, and then I gently twist them toward each other so that we can make the ends meet. And sometimes when you're moving metal around, you have to move it past the point you want it to go. Like you would have to close the jump ring a little further than necessary sometimes to make them line up. So just be aware of that. And that's how it should look when it's dangles. We take the pen, we're going to pick up the little hexagon bead. Then we're going to decide which side of the chip to put facing up. I like to put the pointy side up usually. And then we get the little other gold bead to top it off. Then we're going to choose a spot right above where the beads end or begin. It's like a few fingernails thickness, or about 2 or 3 millimeters. Then at that space, we get the flat pliers and we make a 45-degree angle in the wire. So now it looks like that. And now we get the the round pliers exactly like this. They have to be positioned just like this, because what's going to happen is we're going to wrap that wire around the top part of the pliers. Okay, so then when I get to about this point, then I kind of need to move my pliers a little bit to make more of a loop. Okay, and then I use the round pliers to hold it. I start to bend, and then to hold it better, you can use your flat pliers, and that helps you make the wire go right up against the top, right? Sometimes you have to re-grab it, and that's okay. What you want to do is make at least 2 little loops there. See, that's like a little spring, and then it's nice to make the wire end at a place where it can easily be cut, which is kind of like away from the loop and all that. So then when you're going to cut it, you can either cut with it facing down toward the table so it goes down to the table, or you can hold it onto it while you cut, because if you don't, it tends to fly away, and you don't want these little pieces on your floor. Now we need to go ahead and get that little end down. So we get the little end down by holding our loop and then trying to see if there's the end right there. So I just kind of very gently munch it down. Just keep moving around in a circle around the coil. Sometimes use kind of like a munching motion, munch, 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 munch. That actually works pretty well, and you can see it's pretty smooth now. So you'll be able to feel with your fingers if it's sharp. If it still is sharp after you try to munch down the little end, you can get a nice little metal, especially if it's a metal nail file. Just get in there and very gently file away the roughness. That keeps it from getting caught on your clothes or your hair or whatever. It works great. And then if your little loop needs to be straightened, just kind of gently straighten it and flatten it. And there it is, a little dangle. So we're going to go ahead and assemble a bail and dangle together. A bail is a little element that has a little loop on it that you can easily attach to a cord. So that's what this is. Let's go ahead, and first we have to open our jump ring. When we open our jump ring, we do not pull it straight apart like this. We twist it to the side like so. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see that from straight on, it's still kind of lined up. You know how that goes? And that's how you open a jump ring. So I'm just going to hold it with one hand. Now I'm going to put 2 things on it. I'll put the bail on and the dangle. Now sometimes when you're putting a bail on a dangle, it has a front and a back, but we don't have to worry about that this time. Okay, now we're just going to get these other pliers and twist it just back the way it came. And sometimes we go back just one little notch further than meeting the ends, just to make sure they actually stay touching. There we are, and now we can put that on a cord. When you're ready, you can start putting your necklace together. You can see that this right here is the slide clasp. It has a rubber ring inside it, which helps it not slip, keeps the necklace together. So you can just alternate one of these large hole beads with your elements that you've created. And there you have it. That's the full necklace. If you want to make that many elements, you could also choose to make it smaller. You could do it like this, or even if you want something even smaller, like that. And then it's time to put the whole thing together. They're going to be going opposite directions. So just get the smaller pliers, which is the round ones, and you put them through the opposite direction from the other cord. You keep pushing it. You can see it comes out. And there it is. The only thing left to do now is to tie a little knot to keep it together. Now, if you wanted to trim this, be very careful. Be very, very careful with length, because since this clasp is made to, this necklace is made to go over your head, if you were to make it too short, you wouldn't be able to wear it. So make sure if you're going to trim it, that the length, when it's like all the way out, that easily goes over your head, or else you might not be able to wear your necklace. So thanks everyone for coming, and bless you all. Have a beautiful day.